Hello, I'm Huey Poplock. Today I'm going to be talking about some Chrome browser keyboard shortcuts. The Chrome browser often requires multiple clicks or disruption to browsing to navigate pages and tabs or access key features. Whether it's quickly opening features such as Incognito mode, clearing history and cache, opening new pages, or just navigating what's already open. There's a lot of movement required between the keyboard and the mouse or the trackpad. However, Chrome keyboard shortcuts can make life a lot easier for just about any user, particularly where productivity is concerned. Now, these shortcuts apply solely to the Chrome iterations that utilize a keyboard. I will be talking about Windows keyboard shortcuts, but many are the same on similar devices that use either the Chrome OS or Linux. If you have a Mac, most of these shortcuts are the same by simply replacing the Control key with your Command key. Please check to make sure. If you use another browser, check to see what shortcuts it uses. So let's take a look at some of the most useful Chrome shortcuts. Quick Launch Incognito. Sometimes it's just a good idea to launch into incognito mode. It won't stop certain entities, like your service provider or the boss, from seeing activity, but it does prevent cookies from saving long-term and can be helpful when it comes to letting others access their own accounts. That's especially true for users who are already logged into Chrome. Going into Incognito sets aside the troublesome steps required to sign out while simultaneously preventing history or accounts linking over to the signed-in account. To get into incognito mode in Chrome on the desktop, you press and hold the Control key and the Shift key before pressing the End key. Using that set of keys being pressed at once will immediately open up an incognito window, and let's take a look at that. So I'm going to hold the Control, Shift, and touch the End key, and it will open up the incognito mode. Search with a Chrome shortcut. It's easy enough to jump straight to the URL Omnibox from anywhere in Chrome with the keyboard. That's easier than using the mouse to click the bar, which can be a serious interruption to the workflow or just browsing in general. To move directly to the URL Omnibox to perform a search or navigate to a new page, you hold down the Control key and press L. That puts the focus on the Omnibox, allowing users to just type in the search or website URL without ever having to touch the mouse or the trackpad. Open up the most recently closed tab in Chrome. Now, it isn't at all uncommon that you'll close a tab by accident or discover shortly after closing it that it's still needed. If you know this shortcut for reopening recently closed tabs, it's still possible to get those back. This doesn't work for tabs that are closed out in previous sessions or in the incognito mode, but this should work just about everywhere else. It can even be used sometimes to reopen all of the tabs after Chrome crashes. The tabs reopen in the order that they were closed, so we're going to close 3 tabs to find out if this works, and we'll find out. So we just closed 3 tabs. Now, to do this, you'll hold down the Control key, the Shift key, and then tap T for each one you want to reopen. So we'll do 1, and there it is. I'll do it one more time. And we'll do one more. And that was the last article. So those are the 3 articles that we closed, and we were able to reopen them very easily by using Control, Shift, and T. Go to History. Sometimes a tab will be closed and then needed again later on. Depending upon when the tab was first opened, that might be easy enough to find using the History tool in the 3-dot menu. But for older tabs, a deeper look at the history of tabs is going to be needed. Now, that isn't necessarily going to be the best solution either. You have the option of using the keyboard shortcuts. If you hold down the Control key and then press the H key, let's do that, Control and H. That'll open up a new tab with the history page already loaded. From there, you can use either the arrow keys or the mouse to navigate the history user interface. So you can go down and you can delete or see where you've been, and you can go down and up and find whatever you want in your history. Go to Downloads. Sometimes it's difficult to locate a previously downloaded file or image. In those cases, as long as the image hasn't been deleted entirely, there is an easy way to get back to the download. And this method also works just as a way to check or delete what's been downloaded, or at least in terms of its visibility as a download. Keyboard shortcuts can be used here. So first, press and hold down the Control key and then tap the J key. And this will load up the Downloads interface. And let's do that, Control and J. And you will see all of your downloads. If they were deleted or moved to another folder, it will say deleted. But some of them will still be there as well, and you can click on them and go to them or show them in the folder, whatever you want to do. But all of your downloads are listed, so you can find them this way so you can see where they are just by showing in folder. Open a new tab or window. If you want to open a new tab or window, there's an easy way to accomplish that with keystrokes. That makes it easier to open new tabs without having to reach for the mouse or the trackpad and either open up a 3-dot menu or click the plus icon. The same can be said for opening a new window, since sometimes it's a pain to keep too many tabs in one frame. So hold down the Control key and then tap the N on your keyboard. So let's do that. Control N opens a new window. And you can see that that's a different window. And then if we want to open a new tab, you hold the Control key down and open T, and you get a new tab. And you can open up another tab if you want. When Chrome stops responding properly or needs to be reset, there are shortcuts for that. This Chrome shortcut isn't like the other shortcuts so much as it is a way to relaunch Chrome without losing progress. It also serves along the same lines as a way to accomplish that without having to use the mouse. And that's going to be useful for those of you who build up a lot of browser data, similarly finding themselves needing to restart often. Using the shortcut to move the focus of the page to the search or URL omnibox, you have to press Ctrl L. When you do, it puts the focus on your URL omnibox. Then, namely, you must then type in Chrome://restart and then hit Enter. So that's what you want to type in, and then you hit Enter. And then it restarts Chrome. So this time, however, the browser will restart itself keeping the tabs intact so you can easily fix any errors or restart the Chrome browser instead of simply opening each page all over again. Jump from tab to tab, backward or forward. When you have a bunch of tabs open, it can be difficult to navigate between them. When there are so many tabs that new ones don't appear in the tab bar, instead they're tucked off to the side behind the plus-shaped icon. You could simply close tabs you don't need, but that's not always ideal. Chrome users can also use the keyboard to navigate to the next and previous tab instead. Windows users will need to start by pressing and holding the Control tab and then page down. Control tab and then page down. And you go to the beginning, or you go forward, and you can go through each of your tabs. If you do the Control page up, it goes in the other direction. Now let's go to the end again. Now another trick that you can do is Control plus a number 1 through 8. So if you do a Control and the number 1, it will take you to the first tab. If you do Control and the number 5, it'll take you to the 5th tab. But you can only do this for the first 8. So we'll go to number 8, and it's there. If you count the tabs, there's 8 of them. Now if I do a Control and a 9, watch what it does. It goes all the way to the end. So anything between 8 and the end, you can't get to by doing that. But this works fine. Bookmark a page or get to the Bookmark Manager. I use the bookmark bar to get to most of my most used sites, but that can get in the way and it doesn't always show every bookmarked page. Also, it can be a pain to use the mouse to set a new bookmark. Chrome has keyboard shortcuts for all of that. How to hide or reveal the bookmark bar is set on a toggle. So the same command can be used to both show the UI when it's hidden and to hide it when it's getting in the way. And to do that, you press the Control, Shift, and B, and it goes away. Control, Shift, remember it's a toggle, so Control, Shift, and B again brings it back. Control, Shift, B removes it. Control, Shift, B then puts it back. Now, to add an open page or pages to the bookmarks is straightforward from the keyboard too. To do so, hold the Control key down and pressing D will bookmark the current page. Control D. And it's ready to put that tab as a bookmark. I am not going to do it. I'm going to close it. But now, if you want to, if you add the shift to the bookmarks, bookmarks all of the open tabs. In other words, if you hold down Control, Shift, and then press D, you'll bookmark all the tabs. And then finally, you can press the Control and Shift before pressing O to open up the Bookmarks Manager. If you do a Control, Shift, and O, it opens up the Bookmark Manager, and you can do any editing, changing, whatever you want to do to work within the Bookmark Manager. Clear your Chrome browsing data. There are times that, for whatever reason, items end up in the history that users would rather not appear there. Clearing browsing data is the proper solution, but that always isn't an easy page to find. It takes a significant number of clicks to get to it. Chrome makes getting there with a keyboard fairly simple. Holding Control and Shift before pressing Delete will launch that feature and its page. Control, Shift, and delete. It then goes to your settings page, finds the page for clearing your browsing history. Now this right now is on advanced, and I can delete my cookies, my browsing history, my download history if I wanted to check those. There are some, and then under basic, I can delete the browsing history, the cookies and other data site, cached images. Just click the clear data and that all goes away. I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to show you how you could. Now it does say, because I am syncing with another computer, to clear browsing data from this device only while keeping it in your Google account, you have to sign out of the Google account. Closing down the currently active tab. When you don't want to minimize the window, it's simple enough to shut down the currently active tab completely. That's especially useful when so many tabs are opened up that the X on the tab can't be pressed to close the page. But it works just as well when users would rather not use the mouse, saving some time for the sake of productivity. To close the tab that's currently active, you can simply press the Ctrl key, and then while it's pressed, you tap the W key. Control and then W, and that window closes. If you want, or that tab closes. If you want to close the next one as well, you do it one more time. It's that simple.